Lesson 1.6 In the Wild, Part 3. In the previous part, we have seen that the writer Kiran Purandare was in the jungle of Umbarzara. The purpose of his being there was to keep the record, to shoot some birds, animals. Shoot, I don't mean shoot by bullet. Here, shooting, capturing the photographs of the birds and the animals, wild animals there. This was the purpose. So he made a hide there, hiding place there, camouflaged it with the leaves and twigs, and hid himself inside and took the notings of all the birds and animals. For some 7 to 8 hours at a stretch, he had been inside the hide, and now it was the evening, and therefore he wanted to go to the village Pitesari where he was staying put. But when he started going towards the village, as he was all alone, he heard the shouting of the langurs, the monkeys. The shouts were alarms that some predator must be nearby, and the jungle of Umbarsara was full of leopards, tigers, even sloth bears, and other wild animals. So it was really dangerous to be all alone. Now it was the fall of day, okay, time of evening. So he wanted to go towards Pitesari as early as possible. He heard the sound check, check of the langurs. Now onwards. I stayed put means I stopped, gauged the leader Langur's target site, and scanned the area visually. Gauged the leader Langur's target site means the langurs were on the top of the trees and they were looking towards certain side, certain direction. So he looked towards that direction and saw closely whether there was something unusual. There was something, means like a predator, okay, the tiger or something else. Took some steps. Again he moved forwards, stopped again. Again he stopped. A fresh scat was lying below before me on the trail. The way he was following, that is the trail, in that way, in that trail, there he found scat. Scat means the droppings of the animals, and it was fresh scat. The bluish purple flies were hovering over it. This is the color of the flies, bluish purple color. Possibly you might have seen. Okay, these flies, these colored flies, they were hovering, flying over this scat. I was sure that the leopard was somewhere near. Okay, he had a strong doubt that the leopard was somewhere here. The distant alarm calls of four honored horned antelope was adding to the chaos. Okay, means langurs were shouting, but along with langurs, in addition to that, even antelopes. In the picture, you can see four horned antelopes. Okay, they were present there. They were also shouting. I barely walked about 15 meters and stopped. Okay, because he strongly doubted that either leopard or tiger might be somewhere near. So he just walked few steps and stopped. I had apparently entered in the sanctum sanctorium of a miracle called leopard. Now he understood that he was in the sanctum sanctorum. What is sanctum sanctorum? Sanctum sanctorum means the place, the holy place, or the secret place, or the place of activity. Now, here is the sense of place of activity. That was the region of the tiger to kill the prey, to kill the animals. That was its own region. So, it was its own sanctum sanctorum. Okay. So I had apparently entered, he understood that he had apparently entered in the sanctum sanctorum of a miracle called leopard. But the big cat was not visible. He was looking in the direction of the monkeys were seeing. Monkeys were looking. He too saw towards that direction, but he didn't find any big cat, means leopard or tiger. It is an elusive animal. Leopard is an elusive animal. Elusive, not easily uh, got, not easily seen, not easily captured. Okay, that is elusive. It is an elusive animal. Leopard cannot be seen in the jungles. You know, the design on the skin of leopard matches terrifically with the outward surrounding, the dried leaves or the stems. Okay, there are spots, circular spots, and yellow type skin. So, in all, this animal is not easily seen in the jungle, though it stands nearby. Still, it cannot be seen. Therefore, it is called as elusive. It is an elusive animal. The surroundings were reminding me that I was all alone time and again. The condition was such terrifying, you know. It is jungle. In the jungle, you are being alone. You can feel the terror, you can feel the thrill, you can feel. You know, you can even feel the goosebumps. Okay, because in all the scenario is such that if you are all alone there, it's not easy. So even the writer also felt terrible, felt thrilling. Okay, a kind of fear is there. The surroundings were reminding me that I was all alone time and again. Time and again means again and again. As I moved forward on the trail to Pitesari, the fading alarm calls were still heard in the background. Okay, step by step, he started nearing Pitesari. Means he started going towards Pitesari on the trail. Okay, and gradually, the calls of the monkeys, they started going behind. Okay, started fading. Okay, the fading alarm calls were still heard in the background. I could not tell instinctively that the leopard had moved away, though the calls were coming from behind and it was now a distant call. Still there was every chance of the leopard being there nearby. Okay, so the fear of the leopard was still lingering in his mind. Okay, lest the tiger must be somewhere. Meanwhile, I saw a man standing at a distance with a stick in his hand. You can see in the picture. Okay, that the man is standing near the tree. Meanwhile, I saw a man standing at a distance with a stick in his hand. As I approached, he appeared spooked due to alarm calls of the leopard. Okay, when he went near the man, the writer felt that even that man was also rather alarmed, was rather frightened because of these alarms in the jungle. Because they knew the people who are living in the jungle area, particularly these tribals, the Adivasis, they know the signals given by these animals. So this man also had heard those calls, those shouts, those alarming shouts by the langurs. Therefore, he stayed put there under the tree. It was he felt that it was dangerous because there was a presence of leopard there. We greeted each other. He was a Raju Iskape from Pitesari. This man was also from Pitesari and his name was Raju Iskape. He had come to collect logs but retreated due to the leopard's movement. Actually, the purpose of his coming towards the jungle was he wanted to collect the twigs and logs, wooden logs, okay, because that is the source of their fuel. Because of this wood fuel, they cook in their homes. Okay, that is the source of fuel, and for gathering these logs, he had come to the jungle. But now he retreated. He went back because he knew that the leopard's movement was there. Means there was a leopard inside the jungle now, so it will be rather dangerous. He felt. Raju was amazed at my regular solitary visits to Umbarzara, the haven for tigers, leopards, and sloth bears. He too was amazed. He felt wonderful. How it is possible that a man comes regularly to this jungle of Umbarzara. And it was a regular solitary visit, means he comes in the jungle all alone. He doesn't have any kind of company, solitary, all alone. Visits to Umbarzara. Umbarzara, that is the heaven for tigers. Heaven, the safe place for tigers. That the tigers live there easily. Means the number of tigers are more in the Umbarzara jungle. Still, this man comes to Umbarzara all alone. So he felt amazed. Okay, he was surprised by this. Not only tigers, but leopards were there, sloth bears were there, and still our writer, okay, he used to visit Umbarzara regularly. We stopped under a kusum tree to take a break. Now, even in the picture, you can see that kusum tree. Look how beautiful it is. Under such a beautiful tree, they stopped, took a break. We both felt a bit relaxed because both got each other's company. They were not alone now. Now we were four eyes, four hands with a stick. Okay, the man had stick, he too, the writer too had the stick. So with the stick and four hands and four eyes, they felt safe. Then we both resumed our walking tour and they started going back towards Pitesari. There was there was one tiny track that broke out of the main trail. Okay, now the trail divided into two parts. I will take this route, you go straight, said Raju and turned right. He chose to go by the way which went towards the right side. I kept walking straight until I climbed a familiar hillock, and the writer went towards the straight. Now Raju was not with him. Again, both parted, and he climbed up a familiar hillock. Hillock means a small hill. I crossed the cement pillar and stones staked by Forest Department Corporation to mark the boundary of the forest compartment. Now, He climbed up, he crossed the cement pillars. There were some cement pillars, some stones which were piled on one another so as to make a bank over there, banking right there. It was a mark made by Forest Development Corporation, the mark to show that it was the boundary of the forest department. Took another trail. One more trail he took. After climbing down, he climbed down from the hillock and took another trail. Walked across a beautiful mahua tree. Mahua tree, even our Vidarbha region is also full of mahua tree. Mohachi zada. Walked across a beautiful mahua tree loaded with reddish brown leaves. Okay. The ground under the tree was cleaned very well. Okay. The thought instantly flashed in my mind, I had lost my way. What he found, it was not his usual way to return towards Pitesari. Now, for days he had been walking through that road, through that path. It was not that path, it was not his way, and there a doubt appeared in his mind that he had lost his way. Next moment, I found another dusky trail. Okay. Again, when he walked further, he found another dusky. Dusky means full of dusk. Dusky trail. Hastily, I took that trail which took me from a narrow gorge. What is gorge? It is a narrow gully between two hillocks. On one side there is one small hill, another side there is small hill, and a small way goes through these hillocks, and that is called as gorge. I took that trail which took me from a narrow gorge to an open field. Okay. After crossing the hillocks, he found that there was open field. The area was surrounded by hillocks of dry, deciduous tropical forest. Whole area was surrounded by hillocks. Means number of hillocks were there, and the trees were there, and these trees were deciduous tropical. Okay, ours is a tropical region, so the forests are called as tropical because it is near tropics. And the speciality of this tropical forest is this: the forests are deciduous, means these trees shed the leaves especially in the winter. When the winter season approaches, the trees start shedding the leaves, patajad. Okay, in Hindi it is called as patajad. मीन्स झाडांची जी पानं आहेत ती गळायला लागतात. ओके, पानगळ चांगलं म्हणतो आपण, किंवा पानगळ झाडं म्हणतो. पानं जी वृक्ष झाडं जी पानं गाळतात, ज्यांची पानं झडतात, especially at the time of winter. So these trees were there. I turned back to spot the sun. Why he turned back towards the sun? Because in daytime it is the sun that shows the direction. We know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So accordingly it was the time of evening. He saw the position of the sun. Where the position was the where was the position of the sun? It was west. Okay, it was the west direction. So according to that direction, he could guess the location of Pitesari, the village where he was living. I turned back to spot the sun. Now the geographical west was set. The dusky trail had vanished. Now there was no trail. Good heavens, I was lost. He understood there that he was completely lost in the jungle. That too at a very dreadful time. Why dreadful? Fearful time. Why? Because it was evening, and now it was the coming time was the night. Means he couldn't see anything in the jungle and he was lost. The sun was melting down like a fleeting runner in such time, The time passes so rapidly. Sun was also setting down, going down the horizon speedily like a fleeting runner, the runner which moves very speedily on the track. Soaked in my own sweat, he was perspired. Okay, he was completely perspired. He was damp with sweat. I felt like shouting to my heart's content. He wanted that he should shout because he was all alone there. But there was no other soul to listen to my sound in this wilderness. In this forest, there was nobody there to listen his cries, his shouts. I had two bags with me. The Shabnam bag, the Shabnam bag is that bag which hangs on the shoulder, especially in the olden days, especially the journalists or the social workers. Uh, these bags, Shabnam bags, were their trademarks. Shabnam bags hanging on the shoulder. The Shabnam bags having the camera, and the other was a small, colorful handmade bag used in villages to carry tiffin. These two bags he had, one was colorful bag. In that colorful bag, he had a tiffin, and another was Shabnam bag, where in the Shabnam bag there was a camera. The tiffin still had some stuff, but I didn't feel like having it. Okay, there was some food still in the tiffin, but he didn't feel that he should eat it. Why? Because he was in a hurry to go to the Pitesari, and the fact was this, that he was completely lost in the jungle. The blossoming boxwood trees, the bhoop bhoop sound of cockle bird, cockle bird. This is Bharadwaj, you know, somewhat brown feathered, uh, this bird with the size of crow. The whoop whoop sound of cockle bird, the song of robin bird, all appeared aligned to me. These sounds couldn't attract his mind because he was in a hurry. He was frightened rather. It was more than an hour, and I was still there searching for a suitable tree to climb and get secure. Okay, this was the last way that he wanted to take to climb on the tree so that he could save himself from other beasts, other wild animals. Turn back to the trail you left, my mind was telling me. Okay, his mind was also telling you why you are moving by this track. Okay, turn back. This is not your way. Your way you have left behind. But there were no signs of the trail. Okay, even if he moves back, he should see by what way he had come. But he couldn't see anything. Now, this is the peculiarity of the jungle. You cannot see where from you have everything you look, everything is new and everything resembles one another. You cannot especially guess from where you have come if there is no such certain trail or certain track right there. So he was rather confused, but there was no signs of the trail. I had no other way to climb the hillock before me. There was a hillock. He wanted to climb on it so that he could see the landscape. There were more hillocks and some more around the one I was standing. Near my feet were the dried up droppings of sloth beer. Okay, means there were the droppings of sloth beer, does mean that that was the area of sloth beer too. Now sloth beer is very dangerous again. Okay, they even kill man if man comes in their way. The sloth bear of Umbarzara must be out in open sniffing for food, he felt. I cautioned myself so, so as to keep away from the sloth bear, thinking of avoiding, thinking of averting all sort of eventuality. Okay, in the end, what would happen? That is eventuality. So, thinking of averting all sorts of eventuality. What will happen to me and how should I avoid those things? Okay, now it was the area of sloth bear, means I should avoid the sloth bear. Okay, so be aware of that. I made a move. I ran down the hillocks that I had climbed up at a frantic speed. Okay, hurriedly, excitedly. You can see this, the meaning. Frantically. He climbed, uh, I ran down the hillock that I had climbed up at a frantic speed. The west was to my right hand side now. The west was to my right hand side now. The evening breeze flew through my wet curled hair. My stomach was aching because he had been walking for such a long, even running sometimes. I kept walking in hope. He started pressing himself towards the village, the way towards which he didn't know. He didn't know which way, what is the route, because there was no route. Okay, so, but he kept pressing in the hope that he would go towards Pitesari. After around 50 steps, I found a bright red soil trail. Means, my God, in the end, he found the trail of red soil. I found my silver lining on this trail. This is silver lining means hope. Okay. He got hope. Some rays of hope started lingering that yes, this can be the way reaching towards the village. There were marks of bicycle wheel on this trail. Look, one more hope. Okay, bicycle wheel marks were there on the trail. That was a big consolation for me. It was a big satisfaction. It was a big consolation. He was actually very much perturbed, perplexed, and now it was rather comfort to his perplexed heart. Okay, terrified heart. There must be a village nearby, I reassured myself. Okay, so there must be some village, though not Pitesari, but some other village can be there, and it was of a great comfort that the people will be there. Okay, they can help. More questions resurfaced. How far is the village? Okay, the village might be nearby somewhere, but how far? And where? In which direction? It was our problem. I climbed one more hillock and tried to locate signs of human civilization. Once again, he climbed on the another hillock and saw whether he could see something where the habitation, where the location is there, where he could see some signs of the village. My legs were trembling, okay, shaking. My legs were trembling. As I reached the top of the hill, I jumped with joy. Okay, when he reached there on the top, he might have seen something which made him happy. I heard the sounds of people talking in the loudspeaker. Okay, he could listen that in a jiffy, means within no time, within no moment, means very hurriedly, speedily. In a jiffy, I ran down the hill towards the sound with full vigor, with complete strength. He ran towards the sound. I stumbled and fell down. In this hurry, running fast, he stumbled at a place and fell down. Saw droppings of blue bulls nearby. Okay, blue bulls, nilgai. In our area, we also call these blue bulls as rohi. Rohi is bull, blue bull. Okay, saw droppings of blue bulls nearby, struggled, stood up, and decided which direction to move on. Now it was all set. He wanted to move towards the direction from where that sound was coming. The signs of the civilization were inside. Okay, the civilization means the living places, that the basti, okay, the people where the villagers were living, that the village. The signs of the civilizations were visible. The tiny sleepy village of Pitesari was visible, and thank God it was the village of Pitesari, none another. The tiny sleepy village of Pitesari was visible through the green woods. Okay, he could see. What a comfort it was for the writer. The lantern of Rajiram Bhalavi's farm. Okay, the lantern Kandil, the lantern of Rajiram Bhalavi's farm, the loudspeaker installed for Kesho Bhalavi's marriage, all were in clear sight. He could see everything very clearly. Turned left to spot the village lake and familiar hillock Sui Hudaki. Okay, he could see this hillock. The name of that hillock is Sui Hudaki. So he took the turn. The dog barked to welcome me to the village. Okay, so this is the first duty of the dogs. Even suppose a newcomer is there in the village, they bark, they signal the other villagers that some another strange personality is entering your village. Okay, so they bark. So this the dog barked to welcome me to the village. The first thing I did was to take a bath. Okay, he took bath. The shaking of limbs had lessened a bit. Okay, his limbs, his legs were still shaking, but now after taking bath, it lessened. The stomach ache started again. Okay, ache. Okay, pains. The stomach pain started again. Ate to the full and then slumped onto the cot. Stomach ache because he was hungry, therefore his stomach was aching, was paining. So he ate to the full and then slumped down. Okay, fell heavily. It is written there, fell heavily, but it's not simply falling heavily. It is sitting on the ground, sitting on the floor, sitting on some cot or something like that. Okay, that is slump, as if the person has lost all strength in the limbs, all strength in the legs. So in that fashion, he just uh, as if he falls on the cot or on a chair. This is slump. Then slumped onto the cot. Lying awake, looking at the star studded sky, I spoke to myself. There still exists a jungle where we can get lost. Isn't this our good luck? Look, a positive statement over here. He felt it really very nice. There are still jungles. Where one can get lost. Otherwise, the jungles are cut. So the number of trees are so less that you can easily guess what is the way. If the jungle is completely dense, okay, then you cannot guess from where you have come and where you have to go. In such a jungle, dense jungle, you can get lost. Fortunately, the jungle of Umbarjara was the jungle where one could get lost, and therefore he says that it was a good luck that such dense jungles are still there in Maharashtra. And this is a fact, especially in the jungles towards Bhamragad, Sironcha, means in the Gadchiroli district, Chandrapur district, some Bhandara district. Okay, in Melghat region also, there are jungles which are still dense jungles. Thanks to the ranger forest officers and all those workers who are watching days and nights and giving safeguard to these jungles. These jungles must be saved because that is the heaven, that is the safest place for those animals and birds which can only live in the jungles. Because they are there in the jungles, therefore we are good. Our ecosystem is good. Okay, they are the workers to keep to help this ecosystem nice. So their being in the jungle is really needful, and for that jungle must be dense. So therefore he says that there still exists a jungle where we can get lost, and that is really good luck. This is the extract taken from Sakha Nagzira, written by Kiran Purandare. In the next part, we will see the part 2, trekking the panther of the Nagar hole. But before we learn this part, okay, I give you one more video clip. Watch the video clip and then we will move, because that clip is purely on this second part. Okay, all the best.